Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have a project today that's long overdue that we should have did since we've been living in the RV for over 2.5 years now. We're going to do the lithium iron phosphate battery conversion. That's a pretty simple task. You got to change the 2 lead acid batteries out of the front, put in your lithium batteries, and then on ours we got to change the converter charger that's behind the fuse panel in there. That'll probably be the hardest part because they pack them in there pretty good. So we got to get that out of there. So pretty easy overall. Of course, we're doing it for the obvious reasons of the benefits. You have the weight savings on the batteries. They don't need to be vented. You get more capacity out of the batteries. It's the typical thing that should be done on all these new ones anyway. We're finally getting around to doing it with the help of Uniwix. They reached out to us with their batteries. And if you haven't seen any of our other videos on that, we did some on their batteries and gave you a lot more information on the battery. They're awesome batteries. They work great. We did a bunch of different tests. Make sure you check those out. But thanks to them, we have a couple batteries to put in. Give those a run in the RV, see what they do. It is the Uniwix Defender X100 deep cycle battery. We'll show you that here in a second. We'll go over here, show you what we're gonna need for the job. Of course, their batteries have the cold temp shut off and also has the charge protection. So important things to have on the BMS in the battery. And so with that being said, guys, let's go over here. I'll show you what we're gonna need to do this job. All right, guys, here you see the 3 things we're gonna need to do this job. Pretty easy conversion. Of course, we have the 100 amp hour Uniwix batteries, the lithium iron phosphate batteries. These will give us a lot more capacity. We can get the full thing. And when you put these in, they are direct drop-in replacements. Your charger in your RV will charge them, but it won't do it to the capacity it's supposed to be done. So you're missing out on a lot of the battery. Plus it'll shorten the life of the battery if you're not charging it right. Next thing we're gonna need is the converter charger. This is the deck mounted one. It's behind the fuse panel in the rig. It's easy to pick the numbers on these. If you look at yours inside of your RV, it should say WF like 9855. That's what ours says. The AD is for auto detect. So you just have to add the AD on the end of your number. You'll know which one of these you need to get. I found this one online for only a couple $100. So that was a pretty good deal for that. So that's pretty much what you're going to need for that. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the front of our RV and empty that out so we can get to where the batteries are. And we can take out the old lead acid batteries and we'll put these in. And of course you want to be safe, so make sure you shut off the power to your rig and then use your battery switch and shut off your batteries before you go digging into any of this stuff. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to shut off the power to the rig. Actually, we'll empty the stuff out of the front of the rig first because we don't want to shut the power off till the last minute. So we'll empty the stuff out of the front of the rig and then we'll go around and shut the power off. And then we can switch these batteries out. So let's get over there and get started. Boom. And there you go, guys. We emptied it out. We got the batteries on each side. They're in cases that have the vents that you see on the outside of your rig. You don't have to put them back in the cases if you don't want because they don't need to be vented, but we probably will just to protect them a little bit, but you don't need the vent tube if you don't want to put it on. So we'll give you a close-up of what our batteries look like in here before we start. Then we're going to go around shutting the power off to everything so we can get this job started. All right, this is where our batteries are in our rig. As you can see, there's one in the, this is a mirror of the other side. We have one in the other corner. They're just in these vented boxes. It's got the battery cables going in. So we're just going to take this lid off, pull our old batteries out and put the other ones in. But first we're going to go around and shut the power off to this whole rig so we got no sparks anywhere. We don't want none of that. So let's go around and do that. All right, guys, now the first thing we want to do is inside you'll see you have your battery connection on and off. We're just going to turn that to the off position. So right there, our battery is now off. So nothing's going to our battery. So when we go shut the plug off or the breaker off for the whole unit, the power, this thing will have no power running to it at all. We get those batteries switched out and switch our converter. It's kind of a hot day, so we don't want to take too long because it's going to get hot in the rig, but good as day as any. So let's go around to the other side and unplug the power from the rig. All right, guys, we're out here at the pedestal that puts power to our rig. We have it plugged into our surge protector, which you always should have plugged in. We're just going to go under here if we can. Get the lock off it. We're going to open it up, hope there's no bees in it. And then we're going to shut off the main breaker right here. You can see the main one up here. Our whole rig is shut down, so we're on a time now so we don't get too hot in there. So that's down. Let's go get those. Let's go over here and get the battery switched out. All right, we're back in here now. We got all the power off. We're just gonna lift the vented cover off of our battery. Try to set that aside so it's not in your guys' way. Boom, look at that. And pretty simple connection. You only have the two here, the positive and the negative. We're gonna undo these. We'll just go get a wrench, we'll get these off and then we'll switch it out. Good thing we're in here is you can see the little bit of corrosion on that battery. So good thing we're gonna clean that up. Let me go get a wrench. All right, we got our wrench. It's a 1/2 inch here. Just gonna take these nuts off. Unhook our wires here. Pull the two negatives off. This is the side the negative has a little corrosion, so we'll probably get a wire brush and clean our terminals a little bit. And we'll put maybe a little dielectric on there so that don't happen again. Put our bolts back, our nuts back on here. Alrighty, we're gonna, see the corrosion on there? We'll just wire brush that off. We'll put a little dielectric on it, the connection next time. So let's pull this out. Oh my God. One of the main reasons to get these out of there, they're so friggin' heavy. Okay, now we're up here with our new one. It's just gonna hook in the same way. It doesn't have nuts, it has just some bolts, but the bolt has got a hex head, so you can use the same wrench probably. We're just gonna drop this in, direct replacement for what was there. So let's get this one dropped in. I mean, look at this. One hand, I love it. Fits in there perfect. The same wrench size, so you can make sure you get those nice and tight. Thing about the Uniwix batteries, it's got a nice connection there. So it's made in these batteries really nice. He's got a pretty robust BMS. I mean, there's a couple videos out there I've seen where they take these apart, and it's well built inside too. Thing with Uniwix, this is their flagship product. This is pretty much what they make right now. And with that, they put a lot more into the battery, so that's always nice. So they're working on one item instead of a bunch.
And Jimmy, don't forget to wire brush the corroded wire.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to wire brush that and get some that, what is that dielectric. So let's go get that wire brush so we can at least clean these off a little bit. All right, we got our terminal ends cleaned off. We're just going to use the CRC dielectric grease in the squirt thing. I love this thing. Just squirts out of there. So put a little bit in there. We'll put these down here. Do the connection there. It's going to squirt up out of there and cover the rest of it. So that'll be nice. Then we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. All right, this side's done. Got the new lithium battery in, covers back on it. That's just to protect the top of it and everything. It's already there. It's bolted to the bottom. Why not? So keeps it neater. So we're going to go over to the other side over here. We're going to do the exact same thing we did to that side. If you find any corrosion or any issues, fix them now. It's a good time. So we're going to do that, and then we'll go on to the next thing. All right, we're on to our second battery. When you get it and pull out of the box, it's going to have these little plastic plugs in them. Just pull those out. Then it comes with a little bag of hardware. You got the caps and you got the two stainless bolts. So we're going to put those in for right now until we get it carried over there. Just like that. And each side it's easily marked. You can see it's black here and it says negative. And it's red here and it says positive, so you can't mess that up. Well, I guess you could, but you shouldn't. So let's get this over there, get it dropped in. We'll get the lid on it like the other side, and we'll go inside and do the what I think is going to be the harder part, which is that charge converter. So let's get going. All right, we got those batteries switched out inside here and everything put back in. We're going to close this up, go inside, change that charge converter. That's the last thing we got to do. There's only like 4 wires on that. A couple screws hold it to the wall. The hard part is getting to it, on ours at least. It's behind that little fuse panel. Doesn't give us a lot of room, but we'll make it happen. So let's get inside and do that. All right, Now we're to the inside job. We got your fuse panel you see in your RV. There's gonna be a few screws to take that off. We're gonna take the cover off first, which is one in each corner. So let's do that. It's better when you can see, right? There it is. Our cover is off. We're just going to set that to the side so it doesn't get in the way, broken. Now everything here it should be powered off since you flipped your breaker and shut off your battery and everything. Nothing should be powered. You could get a voltmeter and check it if you want. Now we're going to do 4 more bolts. There's one here, and 2 on this side. That'll get us in behind here. So we're going to take those out. Like we said, the old charge converter will charge the batteries, but it won't do it correctly because it only charges at a certain voltage. You don't have the right algorithm for lithium iron phosphate batteries. You can shorten the life of them and you won't get the full capacity. So if you're going to do the conversion, you might as well do the whole thing. So we're going to pull this out. I don't know, we'll get you guys closer. Come over here. You guys see in there? Right here in the back here, this is our charge converter. It's right there. We're just going to unscrew it from the wall, and then it plugs into the back of here. There's one plug, like a 110 plug. And then on the back and top of that, there's a positive and a negative and a ground. That's all we got to switch. So we're going to pull it off the wall first, probably. Well, no, we'll unplug it from this first. Let's see if I could show you guys. Right here's the plug for it. 110 plug. We're just going to unplug that because that goes to that converter charger. So let's get that unplugged. There you go, that part's done. The rest has to do with that. To get to the wires easier, we're just going to unscrew it from the wall first, just to make it easier to maneuver around. Then you can see the positive and negative. I think you can. The positive and negative wires right there going into it. Those are what we're going to change. And then the ground, of course, over here. So let's try to move this out of our way a little bit, and then we'll pull that off the wall. Just want to be careful with the wires in here. You don't pull anything out, because then you'll be putting it back together and say, why isn't that working? Because you probably pulled the wire out. 3 screws. So we get in here. I'm glad these drills have a light on them. It is these are the Anderson type with the square bits, but you can use a Phillips on them. They do work. That's what we're doing. I don't know. Most people don't have the square things hanging around. Boom, that's 2. We got 1 more to this. You guys hear that beeping in the background? That's our UPS there, the ups that keep the computer going. So what's cool about that is, like right now, we still have internet. It's pretty awesome because we have that hook through there too. We did drop a screw in there. You guys need to remind us to find it so we can get it out of there. Let's get this charge controller. Well, here it is, guys. This is the charge controller. This is the plug we unplugged out of the back. You can see that. Now we're just going to take the positive and negative out of the back of here. I'll flip it around so you guys can see it. See the positive and negative? We're taking those 2 out, and then the ground, which is on the other side. What does it take to get those out? That is an Allen. So we're going to go get our Allen keys and loosen those up. All right, we got our Allen key for this. It's a 4mm, by the way. So let me get down in here. You guys aren't going to be able to see a lot of this, I don't think, but we're just going to loosen up these bolts that hold the wires in. We're going to pull them out. Another helpful hint is to take a picture of everything before you take anything apart, in case something comes off or goes out of place. You'll know where it's supposed to go. We did that already. So we got those loose. Let's see if they'll pull out. Are they loose enough? The positive was. Negative, not so much. There we go. That one is out now. Positive and negative is out. They're color coded on the back of the charge inverter charger. And the same with the ground. It's also a 4mm. You can see it there. I think you guys can see that on here. We're just going to take this off now. Hey, at least they're tight. So we got the grounding lug loosened. Maybe not enough. So we're going to go more on that. There we go. So that's out. This baby should be free. Oh yeah. It wasn't too bad, I guess. You can see, like we were saying with our other one, says AD. This one says 9855. The AD is not there. So it doesn't auto detect what kind of battery you got. That's pretty much all we're switching. So we can set this aside. This is still good. So you might want to keep that as a spare in case something happens ever, because it will work. Or you could sell it. It's up to you, whatever you want to do with it. Now let's open this other one. It's a little dark in here, guys, because we got no power. So get our new charge converter out. It should look about the same. It is pretty much the same. Give you guys a side-by-side. See how they look the same? Only way you almost tell them apart is that AD on the end. That's your new one with the auto detect right there. Sorry for the crappy camera shots. And then this one here doesn't have the AD, so this is not auto detect, which I think the new RV should have this in it, the new kind, but they don't. So it is what it is. Let's get this one put back in there. Pretty much the reverse of what you just did. Oh, nice. What's nice is they include that auto detect sticker, so you can put on your cover there that you did the conversion. I also contacted them. They sent me a few, so that's awesome. So let's find our grounding lug there. There it is. We're going to reverse what we just did. Stick this in here. Oh, we got to loosen it off. The grounding lug is buried in there. Like any of these RVs, everything's in a tight spot. So, I mean, if you're one of the lucky ones, you can remove a panel and right there it is, but we're not one of those. So get the, back it up more, I guess. Get the grounding wire in there. Then we'll go on to the positive and negative. All right, we got that grounding wire nice and snug on the lug there. One thing I want to note for you guys is this lug does not have a pass-through, so your wire might not go in as far as it did on your other one. But that's okay, just bottom it out and then tighten this really tight, so you got a good, nice, tight fit in there. Now we're going to loosen up our positive and negative ones, and then we're going to put those wires in, mount it back to the wall, and plug it in. We're back in business. We go flip everything on. We'll give it a final check to make sure we didn't pull any wires or anything. And then we'll be all set. It'll be we'll be nicely converted. Pretty easy job. Don't be afraid of it. I mean, you might think you're like, oh my God, but it's really this box and 2 batteries. So okay, we'll start with our red one because it's the lowest one there. Now these should sit in just the same depth as the other ones did. There we go. Each one of these have two 35 amp fuses. Just so you know, maybe you might want to have some of those around ever. I mean, we haven't ever had a problem with those, but you never know. Or keep the ones out of your old unit. So if you ever have a problem with this, that's probably the first place you want to go is check those fuses. We're so excited to have this conversion done. I mean, we didn't worry about it much till now because we haven't moved a lot, really. A little bit, and it hasn't really become a problem. But if any of our plans come up here, we'll be moving a little bit more. All right, guys, sorry the GoPro battery died. Like I was saying, we're not moving around much, so we're glad to get this done now because we got plans to be moving around a little bit more here. So let's get this mounted back up in there, and then we'll close this all up. Make sure you check everything. Make sure you didn't pull anything out or anything before you close it back up, because you don't want to have to go back in there again. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get our box mounted back in here. Like I said, not the easiest spot. Remember that screw I told you guys to remind me about? Well, there's a big giant hole in the floor, and I think that's where that screw went. So really we only need two, because the third one that was in here is going into just like paneling, which isn't doing anything for us. So let me get that started. There's one. We'll get this other one in here without dropping, I hope. But you know what we're doing here, guys. We're just mounting this back to the wall, and then we're going to close this thing back up. So get with you guys when we're done. All right, guys. So we in the way of doing this right, the third screw they had in there, I know you guys can't see me, but the third screw they had in there just went into paneling, so it wasn't doing anything for us whatsoever. So we got a scrap piece of plywood and a new screw. We're just going to put this behind that paneling and then screw it in so it has something to bite to. That'll make it much better than it was before, if I can do both. All right, guys, I want to get you guys in there if I can. You guys can see it. This third screw up here, you can see the plywood sticking out. It was just in the paneling. We put the plywood behind it. Now it's got a nice steady base on there. Now the only thing we got left to do is plug our plug back into the back of our fuse panel and close this up. So let's do that. Pretty easy deal for the most part. Just getting it in there. It is now plugged in. We're just looking everything over, make sure we didn't pull anything out. All the wires still look good. Now we're going to take this thing and put it back up in here. There is pressure on this, so you probably knew that taking it out. All the wires. Look at that. That is done. Oh, it's not quite done. We got our sticker to put on here. Lets everybody know it has been converted. Look at that. Job well done, guys. Beautiful thing. Let's go flip all the switches back on and make sure everything still works. All right, guys, we're back in the underbelly storage. We're going to turn, the first one we're going to do is our battery. We're going to put that in. I just heard the inverter start up. Our inverter's right there. That just started up. Let's go inside and see what the voltage reads. We have lights. Our one control started up. Let's see what that does after it starts. Yeah, we're getting warm in here. So after we make sure this part's good, we'll go flip our switch. Let the one control do its thing. It's a long warm-up process apparently, huh? Hold it still, cameraman. There it is. It is up. It says 13 volts right now, but once we turn on the power, that should change. We'll come in and see that in a minute. So let's go flip our breaker back on for the main power. All right, guys, back out at our panel. We're just gonna flip this back on. Our main, whoa, falling down. We're gonna check this. We got 120.
Refresh rate's terrible.
Leg 2, we got 121. We're looking for that EO. 60 hertz. EO, that means we're all running good. So that's good. Let's go inside and see what that voltage reads. All right, guys, everything's clicked on. You've seen us click on our breaker and everything. Battery's now at 13.3, so it's going up. Perfect. So everything's charging. That's what we want. So can't ask for more than that. That's a successful job. Well, there it is, guys. Another job done, another upgrade done to the RV. It's been a long time overdue. We're glad to have that done. And it really wasn't that hard. It took, what, maybe an hour? Maybe an hour, and that's doing the filming. So it really is a pretty easy job. Depends how much junk you got in your RV and stuff, but it worked out really good. We'd like to give a big shout out to Uniwix for hooking us up with the lithium batteries. It's great to have that conversion. It's nice to be working with them with those batteries. If you guys are interested in one of those, they're pretty awesome batteries. They're in a good price point, good spot to start. They got good BMS in them, and they got good, some of them high-end features with the cold weather shutoff and the overcharge protection. I'll leave a link down below to them if you guys are interested in any of their batteries. Well, actually, that's their only battery, so that's why it's so good of a battery. They focus on that. So if you guys are interested in that, we'll leave that link down below. Anything else we use in the video, we'll leave links for those too. They probably are Amazon affiliate links, which help our channel. We appreciate the help, guys. Just click on it, do your normal shopping. Helps our channel out. Appreciate that. And for those of you that aren't subscribed, please take a minute, hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you found this video helpful, and hit that bell notification for next time we do an upgrade to this or post a video. Our channel's a little bit of everything, so we post whatever we feel like doing at that time. So that's the beauty of our channel. You never know, you might see something you like to do and wonder how to do it. That's the fun part. That's what we like to do. We do all kinds of different things. We got a boat series coming up. We've been doing repairs to our boat and doing things with that, upgrades. That'll be fun. We got a cargo trailer upgrades and improvements, and make sure you go check those out. Hit that bell. They'll be coming up too. With that being said, guys, we appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, try something new.
Whenever your heart is broken.